Today I want to go over the 10 commandments in the Bible. If you're first starting off or wanting to get into it, this is one of, if not the first thing that you should know. Because even though there's other ways to love God, this is the main way. It said in John chapter 14 verse 15, "If ye love me, keep my commandments." And there's other verses about it. I'll leave it on the screen right here. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first commandment we have is, "Thou shalt not have no other gods before me." In Exodus chapter 34 verse 14 it says, "For thou shalt worship no other God for the Lord, whose name is jealous." It's a jealous God. In Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 14, "Ye shall not go after other gods of the people which are round about you." So that means you can't put God over money, fame, success, people. In some religions like Hinduism, Shintoism, Taoism, Yoruba, they have multiple gods. And if you follow that, go ahead. I have no issue with it. I'm just going off what the Bible says, not me. The second commandment we have is, "Thou shalt not make unto thee a graven image." In Leviticus chapter 26 verse 1, "You shall make you no idols, nor graven image, neither rear you up a standing image, neither shall ye set up any image of stone in your land, to bow down unto it, for I am the Lord your God." In Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 16, "Lest ye corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image, the similitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female." So that means you can't idolize like statues or images, and you can't pray to the images or statues. Just God has to be the number one priority in your life, and nothing else can take his place. The third commandment we have is, "Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain." In Leviticus chapter 19 verse 12, "And ye shall not swear by my name falsely, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy God. I am the Lord." In Matthew chapter 5 verse 34 it says, "But I say unto you, swear not at all, neither by heaven, for it is God's throne." So that means you can't say, "Oh my God, oh my Lord." For me, I don't say God's son's name. Even though technically it doesn't count, I still avoid it, even in the shortened way. The fourth commandment we have here is, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy." In Exodus chapter 20 verse 8, it said it, and it said remember because a lot of people will forget. A lot of people think, oh, I don't have to do it anymore, but it's one of the commandments, so you still have to do it. And also in Genesis chapter 2 verse 3 it says, "And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made." In Isaiah chapter 58 verse 13, "If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Lord, honorable, and shalt honor him, not doing thine own ways, nor finding thine own pleasure, nor speaking thine own words." And fun fact before I get into what you do on it, Sabbath day is actually from Friday evening to Saturday evening, which I know is shocking because I thought it was Sunday, but apparently it's not. I learned that from Mark the Messenger. So what you do on Sabbath day is you do no work of labor. You can't buy or sell anything. Now, if you're in a position where you have to do those things like buy because you didn't prepare beforehand or whatever, that's why the day before that is called preparation day, for you to prepare. And that's okay, you're on the grace, but don't abuse it though. And being on the grace means that God will forgive you for doing that, because he knows the situation you're in. So if you're just doing it over and over again when you're not in that situation, then God won't forgive you. He's going to punish you for it. And if you have to work on the Sabbath day, like in order to feed your family, then that's okay. You're under grace as well. But what I would do is I pray to God that I'm able to find a solution to it by maybe getting another job that fits a Sabbath day schedule, whatever, so that I can honor him more. And with no cooking, you can't cook on the stove, oven. I would use a microwave. I think it doesn't really count because it's electric, but stuff like the grill, stove, or the oven, don't do it. The next thing you need to do is be selfless, which means that if you keep the Sabbath day, you do what it says, God will reward you for it because you're keeping his commandments. The fifth commandment is honoring thy father and thy mother. So you can't disrespect them no more. You can't talk back to them anymore in your head or verbally. When they tell you to do something, like chores, you do it right away. Another one is ignoring your parents, not listening to their wisdom. even if you don't fully agree with it, to try to be as understanding as possible where they're coming from and just be there for them, especially when they get older, when they have to rely on people to do their day-to-day tasks. It said this in Proverbs chapter 1 verse 8, "My son, hear the instruction of thy father and forsake not the law of thy mother." Ephesians chapter 6 verse 2, "Honor thy father and mother," which is the first commandment with promise. The sixth commandment is, "Thou shalt not kill." It said this in Genesis chapter 9 verse 6, "Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed, for in the image of God made he man." In Matthew chapter 5 verse 21 verse 22, "Ye have heard that it was said of old time, Thou shalt not kill, and whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment. But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause should be in danger of the judgment. And whosoever shall say to his brother, Raca, shall be in danger of the council. But whosoever shall say, Thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire." Pretty self-explanatory. Please, please, please do not kill. The seventh commandment, "Thou shalt not commit adultery." In Proverbs chapter 6 verse 32 it says, "But whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul." In Matthew chapter 5 verse 28, "But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh at a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart." So that means you can't look at people lustfully, pursue them lustfully. You can't cheat on your partner. And actually, if you divorce someone and remarry again, and the other person is still alive, then you still committed adultery. Probably the biggest one we struggle with here is the pee addiction. What I did was put like blockers, but also I prayed to God, like, God, please help me, deliver me from this addiction. I started speaking life by saying, oh, I'll overcome my addiction. My strongholds are getting weaker and weaker. I have more self-control. The eighth commandment we have is, "Thou shalt not steal." In Leviticus chapter 19 verse 11, "You shall not steal, neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another." Ephesians chapter 4 verse 28, "Let him that stole steal no more, but rather let him labor, working with his hands the thing which is good, that he may have to give to him that needeth." This one is pretty self-explanatory. Do not steal from other people, no matter how big or small it is. And if you do it, you gotta return it back. The ninth commandment is, "Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor." In Proverbs chapter 19 verse 5 it says, "A false witness shall not be unpunished, and that he speaketh lies shall not escape." In Colossians chapter 3 verse 9, "Lie not one to another, seeing that ye have put off the old man with his deeds." So that means you can't lie about people, create a false narrative that could lead to harm and like unfair punishment. Lying in court, stuff like that. You get the idea. The 10th and final commandment we have here is, "Thou shalt not covet." Now what does that mean? That means you cannot desire someone else's possessions, like their partner, their house, their cars, whatever they have, to the point where you feel jealous, envious, and you want to actually take it for yourself. It said this in Luke chapter 12 verse 15, "And he said unto them, Take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which they possess." In Hebrews chapter 13 verse 5, "Let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with such things that ye have. For the hath said, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee." So basically, be content with what you have. Please do not be envious of people and what they have, because you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. Maybe they're not happy with it, whatever. That's why you should never compare yourself to other people, because it could lead to this unhealthy behavior. Well, that's going to do it for the video. Let me know in the comments your testimonies on if you're doing some of these things. And if you are doing it, how much it's changed your life by following God's laws. And let me know also if you learned anything from this, which one was the most shocking. And I am out.